dear mothers. It's a very special evening tonight, and we've been doing it since Hillel Yeshiva start to name the Bat Mitzvah in memory of Jherin. I want to tell you, I don't know if it's by coincidence or Mishamayim. I believe there's no coincidence. Akol Mishamayim. 10 years ago, I want first of all introduce you dear Rabbi Douek. He is the rabbi of our shul, Sharet Tefillah. And 10 years ago, he actually performed the first bat mitzvah in our community that was for Jherin. In this very room, all the girls gathered, and he gave them the best divrei Torah. And I'm sure since then, Jherin decided that she wants to grow. I want to tell you about growing. Jherin, she was a very spiritual girl, but most of us, when you think of a spiritual girl, you think of a girl who holds all day Tehillim, closes herself in a room, and that's all she knows to do, she prays. No, Jherin, she was a girl that she took life and she enjoyed every moment. Life was a playground. She loved to do all the sports, all the talent that she could develop. She had a lot of interest, and she learned how to do many things. And the most important thing is her humbleness and how she respected all her friends, all the girls. Everybody was very special and precious. Everybody was in her mind her best friend. Everybody was welcome in this home. Doesn't matter if it was the popular girl or not popular girl, didn't exist in Jherin's life. Everybody was her best friend, and she treated everybody so nicely. So nicely. And as a result, I want to tell you, up to this day, in this very room, all young, all ages, all background, religious, non-religious, come from far, near. We gather every week and we listen to divrei Torah because we want to grow. Jherin is a symbol of admiration, kindness, emunah, bitachon, and today you're starting. You're going to start that journey in life, which you're going to discover a lot of great things in your life, and you're going to learn to grow. And how we grow in emunah, how we grow with bitachon, how we grow in improve our midot, how to be a better person, only by learning. It doesn't happen just like that. Learning of process and desire of learning. And that will help you a lot in life to be the best version of yourself. Bekavod, Rabbi Douek is starting, and Batzlacha.
Thank you, Rachel, for that nice introduction. Like Rachel said, exactly 10 years ago, this time of year, maybe it was even today, exactly today, we had the bat mitzvah party for Jherin, Alei Shalom, and ever since then it's become a special day for bat mitzvah in this house when after Jherin passed away. So we started to do this every year, and we hope till the Mashiach comes, till we see Jherin, will be with us for the next grade, B'ezrat Hashem, hopefully. Bat mitzvah, when you become a bat mitzvah girl, what happens? You become 12 years old. How come boys only become bar mitzvah at 13 and girls at 12? Anybody know why? Anybody? Because the boys are silly. Right? The girls are smarter than the boys, so they become an adult 1 year earlier. That's actually the true reason. Girls have common sense. They have wisdom. They have binah. So from a younger age, you become already responsible. You become obligated in all the mitzvot of the Torah. So bat mitzvah is a very, very special time for girls, because now you have to eat matzah on Pesach night, you have to pray to Hashem every day, etc., etc., all the mitzvot that women have. So now you become obligated. Now you're officially part of Hashem's army, part of Hashem's team, which is very, very happy, a very happy moment in your life. So in order to start off very beautifully, I want to talk about what Rachel mentioned in the book that she gave you as a gift from Rabbi Pliskin, all about kindness. Now that you have become bat mitzvah girls, I want to tell you that you have to realize that you girls now are responsible. What does that mean, you're responsible? So let me tell you. When the Jewish people were in Egypt thousands of years ago, Hashem originally said they're going to be in Egypt for how many years? Who remembers how many years the Jews were supposed to be? Go ahead. Exactly, very good. 420. And how many years did they end up? Go ahead. Excellent. Wow, these girls are good. Good teachers in the back there. Very good. So they ended up being 210 years instead of 400 years. So I want to ask you a question. How did they end up leaving early? Supposed to be 400 years. Go ahead.
The 400 years started when Yaakov Avinu.
Very good. When Yitzhak Avinu was born, so the 400 years start from then. So that's how we count the 400 years. Very good. Excellent. You're a Levi? What's your name?
Yeah.
You're a Levi, yes. You live across the street from me. I can tell on the nose. But anyway, so that was very good. We have a chacham here. Chachama. So you have instead of 400 years, so you have 200 years. Instead of 400 years, you have 200 years. So one of the answers, like she said, was we start counting from before they actually went to Egypt. But isn't that a little bit cheating? If you're supposed to be 400 years and you only end up being 200 years, that's sort of a little bit with an SY language sketch, no? So who has an answer for me? How come it's fair 400 became 200? Who has an answer? Go ahead.
I think Rachel prayed to Hashem
That what?
that don't make a mistake.
Very good. So Rachel Imenu prayed to Hashem. Please Hashem, she's our mother. Rachel, we call her Imenu, our mother. And she always prays for the Jewish people. And she says that what? Please don't let the Jews suffer so long and let them out early. Very good. Who has another answer? Anybody has another answer? Go ahead.
They did teshuvah.
They did teshuvah, yes, they cried and prayed to Hashem. It says, Veitz'aku b'nei Yisrael el Hashem. They prayed to Hashem, and Hashem answered their prayer, and they were left early because they cried and they screamed, Hashem, we can't take the pain anymore. Who has another answer? Anybody has another answer? I'll give you another answer. Another answer is as follows. The Jews were all suffering, right? Watching the Egyptians. If the Jew didn't work, the Egyptian would come with a stick and start hitting him. It was similar to what we saw recently in Auschwitz. It was a horrible, horrible time. And everybody's crying and praying, Hashem, get us out of this mess. I want to tell you something. Welcome, Dr. Katz. Everybody stand up and honor Dr. Katz. As she likes to say, B'vakasha la'amod talmidot. Is that what she says?
Good evening, everybody. My apologies.
So girls, I want to give you another answer. We're asking the question, how is it that the Jewish people were supposed to be in Egypt 400 years, and they ended up only 200 years? We had a few answers from the girls, but I'm sharing you another answer. Listen carefully, girls. The reason why they only ended up being 400 years in Egypt, 200 years instead of 400, is because they all felt the pain of the other Jew next to them. That means usually people cry about their own problems. Like people say, I have my own problems to worry about, I can't worry about anybody else's. But the Jews in Egypt said no. They saw their friend crying, they saw their friend suffering, they said, oh gosh, forget about my pain. Look how much that other Jew is crying. Look how much pain he is in, or she is in. I can't watch it. I'm suffering, watch the other girl or boy in pain by the Egyptian policeman that's hitting him or making him work difficult. You know what they did in Egypt? They would take boys and give them girls' jobs, and girls give them boys' jobs. Like the boy would put him in the kitchen, cook all day, and the boys and the girls would make them lay bricks. They'd switch the jobs just to make them suffer. And so the boys watching the girls suffering, and the girls are watching the boys suffering, and everybody's crying, not for their own pain, not for their own suffering, but for their friends' suffering. So Hashem says, you're not only suffering for your own pain, but you're also suffering for your friend's pain. So the 200 years that you're in Egypt, double, because it's your pain and your friend's pain. So 200 times 2, 400. So the 400 got sliced into half. And that's why we left early. So meaning to say, the reason how we were able to get out of Egypt 200 years before the time was up was because we felt each other's pain and each other's suffering. Okay, right now we're also in Galut. Right now we're also in exile. So we all are suffering right now. Well, thank God, Baruch Hashem, in America, the Galut, the exile really is bearable. But unfortunately in Israel, it's very difficult. Why do I say that? In Israel, in certain neighborhoods, you don't know when a terrorist, God forbid, we're always praying for our brothers and sisters in Israel. God forbid the terrorists could all of a sudden decide to throw a missile from Gaza into it. It's very scary. And even here in Eatontown, we started now all kind of security on Shabbat because of all the threats and all the different things which are going on. So we're still, here and there, we get the reminders that we're in exile. So what's going to be the solution to get out of this exile? How are we going to get out of this mess? If we're all going to feel bad for each other, not be selfish and just worry about my own problems, but when I see another Jew in pain, I feel bad for their pain. And when I see another Jew happy, I'm happy with their joy. I'm not jealous, I'm happy for them. If we act like that, Hashem is going to say, you know what, the 2,000 years is already like 4,000 years of exile, time to leave Galut, and time for the redemption to come, and Mashiach will come. Now we know that the Jewish people, they left early Egypt. In whose merit? The men or the ladies? Obviously I'm giving a ladies class, it's the ladies, right? Bizchut nashim tzadkaniyot nigalu avotenu mimitzrayim. It's a very famous saying which all girls should know by heart to tell your husbands. You know, in the merit of the righteous women, it doesn't say the righteous men, it doesn't say that. I have to admit. It says, in the merit of righteous women, our forefathers left Egypt. Our ancestors left Egypt because the women were so righteous. What was so righteous about the women? What they do so special? Because when they saw the men suffering, because the men suffered more than the women in Egypt because they had to work longer hours, etc., etc. So the women, they felt so bad for the men who were suffering. They would cook for them dinners when they came home, and they would bring them hot water to bathe in. They would do everything to take away their pain and make them suffer less. So the women were so sensitive. The women were so caring. The women were so good and kind. Hashem says, you're so kind, you're so sweet. Because women are more emotional than men. Men, big deal, big deal. Girls like, oh, you know how the girls are? You know, so the girls have that emotion about them. So when you have that so you feel bad, so you do something about it. So Hashem says, in the merit of the in that merit, you cared for each other and felt bad for each other, you left Egypt early. And that's what we have to do now. So let me give you a practical example. Let's say you see another girl in class. She's upset about something. She's sulking about something. So there's two ways to react. You could say, ha ha ha, or start snickering, and put salt to their wound. Or you could say, what's wrong? And show you care. If you do that, you show your friend you care. You feel so bad. I don't want to see you suffer. You know what the Gemara today is the yard site of Rabbi Meir Balanes. Today all over the world they make things in honor of Rabbi Meir Balanes. Rabbi Meir Balanes said, when there's a Jewish boy or girl suffering, Hashem says in heaven, I am suffering. We don't realize. We think Hashem is doing this to us, you know, to poke fun sometimes you think. But no. Hashem says, when a Jew is suffering, Kalani Miroshi, that's what Meir Balanes said. I'm suffering more. So imagine if you have a king and he has a son and the son is crying. So you go over to that son or that daughter and you say, what can I do to make you feel better? Don't you think the king, what kind of reward the king will give you for that? How much reward will the king give you for taking care of their daughter when the daughter was crying about something? It's unimaginable. We are all daughters of Hashem himself. If you see a daughter of Hashem sulking or crying or feeling bad, could you imagine the reward Hashem is going to give you for that? Could you imagine how much barakah Hashem is going to give you because you saw another girl that felt bad? Every single one of us, when you look at your friend, you have to say to yourself, I'm looking at a princess. Like the Torah says, you're all children of Hashem. If we're children of Hashem, we're all princes and princesses. We're all royal children. And you went ahead and did something for a royal child of Hashem, you can imagine the reward. I want to tell you another beautiful thing. Girls, do you know that on the Mizbeach, they always put salt? On our Shabbat table, the Jewish custom is that we dip the bread in salt on Friday night dinner. You know, when your daddy gives out the bread, we dip it in salt. Why do we dip it in salt? What's special? What's so special about salt? The Torah makes such a big deal about salt. Salt. The Torah says, no sacrifice in the Bet HaMikdash was allowed to be without salt. What's so special about salt? Anybody has any idea, any guesses? What's so special about it? You know, salt never expires, it lasts forever. Hashem made a deal with the salt. Forever and ever, you will last. You'll never disintegrate, you'll never disappear. Salt is very special. What's so special about salt? So I want to tell you a very interesting chidush that I heard. Does salt taste good? No, it's yuck, right? You love salt? I don't, huh?
It tastes good like on things.
Right, exactly. If you put it into food, it's not too much. But if you put a little, it tastes very good. But if you put a lot, no, that's yuck, right? So a little bit of salt is great. A lot of salt is no good. So how about if I give you a spoon of salt? You like it? Yeah? Oh, wow, you're a good customer here. You like it too? Wow. So you have a salt. Okay, most of us, who votes they don't like salt? Okay, good, because otherwise my whole class is gone. Alright, so I got a majority vote here that they don't like to eat salt. Okay, good. So salt is no good on its own. But when you put it into something else, now it becomes delicious. You cook a soup without salt, it's bland, it doesn't taste good. You put salt into the soup, now it's delicious. Hashem is teaching us a very big lesson. We have to be like the salt. Salt for yourself, nothing. I'm not here. You eat salt on its own, I'm nothing. Salt is only good with somebody else. When you shared it and gave it to something else. You follow the mashal and nimshal there? On your own, the message is to us. Hashem says, never forget the salt. Have the salt with you at all times. Every Jewish table has to have salt. As a constant reminder. A constant reminder. The reminder is, be like the salt. On your own, if you're selfish, and it's all about making yourself happy, then that's no good. Then you're bitter like salt, then you're yuck like salt. But if you are always giving, and for other people, that's when you become a delicious person. That's when Hashem loves you. How do you know Hashem loves you in that situation? Hashem loves you even if you like the salt, it's okay. We say that, I saw she had a face, she got upset when I said, Ve'afta l're'acha kamocha, love your friend like yourself. Ani Hashem, I am Hashem. What does that mean? Ve'afta l're'acha ani Hashem. Why did Hashem say, love your friend like yourself? Ani Hashem. So there's many interpretations. I'll just give you a few cute ones. Hashem says, when you look at your friend, say, I can't love her, she's not perfect, she has this problem, she's this, and she's not. You always find a reason why not to love somebody. Hashem says, I love you. Are you perfect? You're not perfect either. Nobody's perfect. Does Hashem love each and every single one of us? Yes, He does. How do we know that? How do we know Hashem loves us? Hashem said it directly through the prophet. Ahavti etchem amar Hashem. I love you, says Hashem. So Hashem loves every single one of us. Hashem says, if I love you, and you're not perfect, you can love your friend as well. That's one beautiful interpretation. But I want to share with you another interpretation. I don't know if this story ever happened. If not, it's a parable. It's irrelevant, but the message is there. There were one time two very close friends, very good friends. They loved each other literally to death. They do anything for each other. One day, one of the two, let's call him, make up a name, we'll call him Reuven, just to make up a name. Reuven, he gets caught by the government, they accuse him of dealing with something very illegal. They accused him of being a spy or something like that. And to make a very long story short, they decreed upon him, because he did what he did, death penalty. So Reuven asked the judge, do me a favor. I want to say goodbye to my family. Let me go back home. They live in a different town. The judge says, if I let you go back home, you're never going to come back. I can't let you go. So he says, no, I have a very close friend. He'll wait here till I come back. And if I don't come back, he'll agree he can take his life instead of mine. I said, what? I don't believe there's such a thing. What, you're telling me the Brooklyn Bridge, somebody's going to die instead of you? If you don't come back, I don't believe it. No, I'm telling you, I have such a friend. Let me see that friend. So he brings Shimon, his best friend. He says, Shimon, true, you're willing to wait till I come back? Says, absolutely, I'll wait till I come back. Till you come back. Go say goodbye to your family, and I'm waiting for you here till you come back. Reuven goes home, and they made up, he was going to come back in a week. Now Shimon is waiting in jail, waiting for Reuven to come back to let him out. Now finally the week passed, and the day that the hanging was supposed to take place is here, and Reuven is nowhere to be seen. So they tell Shimon, all right, you were a dummy for agreeing to this, but now you're going to pay the price. They take him to get hung, they put the rope around his neck, and they're about to kick the bucket, and all of a sudden, from a distance, they see Reuven screaming, wait, I'm back, take the string off his neck. He comes running, he's running fast, he jumps onto the stage, he pulls the string off the neck of Shimon, and he puts it onto his own neck. Then Shimon starts screaming, no, it's too late. It's too late. You came after the time you're supposed to come, I'm going to die for you, I don't agree that you should take it. Not doing this, not happening. And Reuven starts screaming, no, but you did nothing wrong. They put this on me. So it's me. So he's pulling the neck. He's pulling the string back of the rope on his neck. And the fighting and the pulling. And the judge is looking. Hey, I've never seen anything like this in my life. These guys are crazy. And the fighting back and forth and the screaming. And after a while, the judge turns to both of them. What's going on? He says, we're best friends. We do anything for each other. We love each other so much. The judge said, I make a deal with the two of you. I'm going to let you both go free, but on one condition. I am so jealous that you two have such a friendship. Do me one favor. Allow me to be part of this group. Allow me to be a friend with the two of you, because I wish I could have such a friendship. I wish I could have such a close group of friends. Hashem turns to the Jewish people and says the following. Ve'ahavta l're'acha kamocha. Love your friends like yourself. What you want other people to do to you, do to others. What you don't want other people to do to you, don't do to others. Says Hashem, Ve'ahavta l're'acha kamocha. And then Hashem ends off and he says, Ani Hashem. When I see the two Jews getting along so beautifully, Hashem says, Ani Hashem, let me in this group. I also want to be part of this friendship. I see how special the two of you are and how well you get along. Allow me into the group. So if somebody wants Hashem to be part of your group, you have to be caring. And what does that mean to be caring? Never, ever do something to another girl that you would want. Would you want somebody to make fun of you? Would you want somebody to do a prank on you? Would you want somebody to pull the chair when you're about to sit down? Now don't take any ideas. I'm scared tomorrow Dr. Kasser told me.
Not these girls.
Not these girls. Right? Would you want somebody to do a prank? You wouldn't want them to do it. If you don't want somebody to do it to you, you don't do it to others. That's the responsibility. Now as bat mitzvah goes, now you're adults. Now that you're adults, it's your responsibility, girls, to make sure that every single girl that you know that you come in contact with, you make them happy. It's your responsibility to make sure that no other girl ever gets hurt. And if you see another girl get hurt, it's your responsibility to do something to make them happy, to put a smile back on their face. That's what it means you became bat mitzvah. You're responsible now. You're responsible that every single Jewish girl in the world, as much as your ability, as much strength that Hashem gives you, they should be happy. That's all you live for. We live for one thing only, to put a smile on somebody else's face, to make somebody else happy, to take away pain from another person. That's what we're here for and nothing else. I want to end off with one last thing. There was a very great rabbi in the Warsaw ghetto. They called him the Petzitzatz Rabbi. He was a very, very special man. He had a yeshiva and he had thousands of boys that he dealt with. He was in education, very, very special. I don't want to go through the whole story now in the Warsaw ghetto, how the Nazis got him. I don't get into that whole story. But to make a very long story short, just to get to the punchline, he had many students, and he used to sing with them songs, and he used to eat Friday night dinner with them, and he used to give them classes, and he used to on and on and on. And after every class, he would end off the same way. Children, remember, the greatest thing in the world is to do a favor for another Jew. He would say it again and again. Children, remember, the greatest thing in the world is to do a favor for another Jew. So girls, I'll leave you with that. The greatest thing, say after me, the greatest thing in the world is to do a favor for another Jew. Thank you for listening.
Rabbi Kadafi Baruch, thank you very much. Thank you for waiting. I apologize. I wanted to welcome, first of all, to thank Hachnasat Orachim and to thank Mrs. Rachel Gorcey for her annual Hachnasat Orachim and her annual Ma'aseh Chesed of everything that she does for our Bat Mitzvah girls every single year. Yasher Kochech, thank you very much, and thank you for your hospitality. Thank you to the Morot, and I'd like to recognize the people who spend the time every single day. Mora Asnat Meyer, thank you for being the Mora for our girls. Rachel Rachel Abraham, who has joined us this morning. And thank you, Grace Haddad, for Mrs. Grace Haddad. Grace Haddad is a recording, it's called The Soul of the People. So I'd like to say that Mrs. Grace Haddad is the soul of the Chesed of Hillel Yeshiva. We thank you. Charon Chaviv, thank you, Rabbi Douek, for taking time out of your busy schedule and bringing this wonderful message to our girls. With our theme this year, of course, which should not be just for this month and just for not for Bat Mitzvah, but forever, is V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. And bringing the loving kindness, I want to say that what you have said this evening, I'm sure they will not forget, because as a true teacher and as a true rabbi, you've brought the message home to something that they can relate to. So thank you very, very much for it. Rachel Gorcey, may I offer you the podium?
Thank you. I forgot to introduce this Chidushei Torah. I put there each one of you got the card. Each one of you got a card here which has the Emunah song from Jherin, and also quotes that Jherin used to say, and a lot of people adopt that, and I hope you will too. I don't have my glasses to remember each one of them, but is anybody here volunteer? Yes, come in. Come, honey.
This is the poem that was put
No. Have to be a good friend. Part of being a good friend also is to have empathy, compassion to anybody. Not specifically because if she looks pretty or she's short or she's tall or she looks cute. Anyone. You have to be nice and kind to everybody. And Jherin, on her own, she used to send text or quote those things and tell people. You would like to read? Please.
It's always good to be a friend with everyone. Never lose it, only gains from one piece. Whenever you are nice to someone, they are always nice back. Always remember that, and whatever age you are and whoever you are speaking to, make believe it's your best friend.
Excellent. So really, we have to be everybody in the team, all your friends together, you're in one grade, learn to love each other and care for each other and treat everybody everybody like they are your best friend. This Chidushei Torah, actually everybody who comes to Jherin's Bet Midrashj every Thursday, we write notes here. But it would be very nice, I want you to read home in your comfort the dedication that I put here. And the minute you start to write things that you learn, you start to write your own history. And why I say history? Because the minute you learn and the minute you write, you will start to adopt the way that whatever you learn to improve yourself will form or shape your life and your future. So actually, this is gonna, I hope it's gonna, you'll use it with good health, and you'll have always the desire to grow and learn. And good luck whatever you do. And please, you have a lot of dessert and roadmap, yes, roadmap. So I wish you good luck in this process of learning. And I want you to enjoy the dessert. And mom as well. And שיהיה לכם ערב טוב ושמח.
Thank you very much.